Hey everybody, welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. It's your girl, Coach Crystal, and welcome if you are just joining us and this is your first Wisdom Wednesdays. Wow, you're in for a treat. We have the amazing Kevin Buford, aka Cutting Kev, in the building. But we start these Wisdom Wednesdays the same way we start every interaction with our clients and our community by just welcoming you to be present. So here's our mantra. A lot of things happen before this, and I guarantee a lot of things are going to happen after this, but I promise to be here with you now. Please be here with me now. If this is your first time joining us for Wisdom Wednesdays, let me just tell you how this got started. I get to be with a lot of amazing, brilliant, talented people. And I thought to myself, would my clients benefit from hearing the candid conversations that happen between myself, other visionaries, people who teach me, people who inspire me? And the answer was obviously yes. And so then we decided this should be a platform for everyone to be able to come into the Steps and Stages community. So tonight, we talk about vision just about in every episode, but tonight we're talking about actually casting vision, interpreting vision, and how you partner with another visionary to make sure that you are and they are growing simultaneously. So can we please welcome to the Wisdom Wednesday platform, Kevin Buford. Welcome, Kev.
What's going on, good people? What's going on?
How you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I was telling someone a little bit earlier that today has been a really chill and positive day. I haven't had much to do. I found out that resting is actually something to do. So it was really good to rest today.
Yeah, resting is something to do. Now, Kevin, I know you as the man behind the camera, not just the still images, but also the videographer. I have seen you lay out on the floor. I have seen you do anything to get the shot, right? And so I just want you to introduce people to you and your work in your own words. Tell the people who you are.
Absolutely. So my name is Kevin Buford, also known as Cutting Kev, also known as Mr. LRP. That is the brand, that is the business. I have been doing videography, photography, media for about 11 plus years now. Started as a passion when I was 6 years old. My mother got me a camcorder and just kind of saw myself on TV, and it kind of took off from there. So when you talk about laying out the vision, like, as soon as I saw myself on TV, that was like one of those things that like took me miles beyond what I could have ever imagined. So, been growing the business, building a team has really been a big difference maker for me. I found myself falling in love with coaching and teaching and giving people my vision of the camera and media. So media is just a part of life. It's something that I breathe. It's something I eat. It's something that I do without even doing it. It's a part of me.
It's interesting that you say that because it's become so much more a part of our lives, right? And so I know you from watching you work and then actually having the opportunity to work with you. So I know firsthand that what I see is not always what you see.
Right.
And that having that other perspective on yourself is what a lot of us think we're doing with our own phones and our own cameras. But tell us a little bit about the process, Kevin, of like seeing, talking to someone, and then bringing them in through your lens as a different version of themselves.
Absolutely. I think when you talk about bringing people into that lens, it encompasses like being a good listener. I've really learned how to become a better listener because it's like, oh, I have a vision and this and the third. And a lot of people, even prior to when I was getting started, it's just like, I don't have a vision for this visual. So it's like whatever you want to do. And now it's become one of those things where it's like, no, now you have to pay me for my vision. If you don't have one of your own, now you have to pay me for that. So it's transitioned into something that's like it's so different. It's totally amazing. And it's the ongoing process more than anything. It's really an ongoing process. So just continuing to learn from that. Continuing to
Yeah.
learn from that.
I mean, just for the people out there, right? I just want to be like totally transparent. I am one of those people, right? I'm
Mhm.
like, Kevin, that's not what I do. I trust you. Whatever you say,
Right.
I'm gonna do it. Right.
Right.
And so a lot of people would think that that's me handing over the vision to you. But I honestly think that's me saying, you know enough about what I believe that I trust you to then add what you do to it. Right.
That's good.
And I think
Mhm.
that's where we kind of miss the mark sometimes in building our vision because we don't trust the collaboration.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how you've been able, I mean, the listening is a huge component, right? But
Mhm.
how have you been able to like bring yourself fully to the collaboration with your whole gift without feeling like you're, measuring, pulling yourself back?
Got you. Bringing myself to that collaboration. It's like when I think about it, I've now learned that I love leeway. So it's I love the client I can work with that say, I've seen your work. I know what it is that you do. Like, just do you and be amazing. But it's been the way that they present it, more importantly than I don't know what I want to do. Like, go ahead and do the thing. No, it's just like I trust you. I've seen your work. I have something that I want to do, but the reason that I brought you on is because I know that you can encompass what it is that I'm doing and make it look
Mhm.
larger than life. So it's a beautiful piece. So I've gone through the process of like building that rapport, and I feel like relationships has turned into revenue for me, where it's just like learning the person, understanding the person inside and out. Well, how do you speak? How do you talk? Is it more candid conversation? Okay, do you want to be more transparent on camera? Do you want to give more of a professional persona? So it comes from just having that conversation with someone. What does that look like for you?
Yeah.
And it's been a beautiful thing only because it doesn't have to be hard. It's just you being you at the end of the day. So when I have
Yeah.
that conversation with you, it's like, how can we have that transfer and just be on camera?
That's good, Kevin, because what I hear you saying is there's a difference between the construction of the image and the
Mm-hmm.
collaboration for a new image.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Agreed.
So a lot of people right, we everybody now has the same three poses, right?
Right. Right.
And
Right.
the model face, right? And you're like, well,
Right.
are you constructing something or are you like really trying to be who you are? And
Exactly.
I think that vulnerability in front of a camera oftentimes puts people on guard. How do you
Yeah.
kind of bring the guard down? How do you kind of get to the real person?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. So this is like one of my favorite pieces, and I see it happen more so in a photo shoot because video is more live and in person, and you can kind of have a conversation. So
Yeah.
one thing I'll do for video is just I'll have the camera running. They'll already be mic'd up, and I'll just sit down and just start having a conversation with them, and
Mm-hmm.
then it just transpires into just having this conversation. I'll start asking them. These are some of the questions that I'll ask you. Let's just warm up. But the
Yeah.
warm up is already the reps, the real life
Yeah.
reps, and it's always a beautiful thing. And normally that's how I kind of trick my clients into like getting it done. I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
are we about to do it now? It's like, no, we're already done. Like
Right.
you like I
Right.
just wanted you to be in it, and that's been a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But I think when it gets to photos, I get a little bit like I've never done a photo shoot before, or I've never worked with you before, and I don't know how to pose, and it's just like I know that it goes to that vision casting where it's just like we're creatures of habit. So it's like, let's do what it is that you've seen. And like, let's embody that. Like, who is your, I don't know, spirit animal, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. If
Right.
it's a Beyonce, it's a Rihanna, or whatever the case may be. So I talk about the attitude, the mood that you're feeling. because we talk about theme, but I want to know how you feel. Have you ever done a photo shoot with me? We always talk about the feel. We set the tone with music, if
Yeah.
it's instrumentals, if it's your favorite artist, and we just go from there. So it's not so much direction, but it's more so me being your personal hype man. And I'll give you like a tinge of, do this or move your head, that, this, that, and the third, which helps and it goes a long way. But all I'm doing is just pulling, and it's just a transfer of energy, but I'm just pulling that out of you. Just to be specific, I'm just pulling that out, a natural vibe out of you.
Yeah.
I guess to say the least, but I'm just pulling that out of you. I'm just pulling out what you already have.
Yeah. 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 The thing that I find interesting about this transfer, and maybe people out there are noticing this in their own lives, whether they do photo shoots or not, but the image on the inside and what is captured for public consumption sometimes has a disconnect. But when it is authentic, when it is real, there's a different frequency that's transmitted, right? And so when we talk about transformation here on this platform, many times we're talking about skills and tools and processes, but I just want to dial it back for a second, because if we look at ancient spiritual understandings about photographs,
Yeah.
right, of like someone capturing another person's soul and
Right.
taking it with them, right? When we think about that, it is finding a photographer that you love and that captures you is almost like having a soulmate.
True. This is very true. Somebody that
Right?
really understands you. Yeah. Understands you more than anything.
Understand. Oh shoot. Oh whoa. I mean, I heard understand. I heard overstand. Not the understand. Are y'all catching this? Okay, understand.
Somebody that understands. Somebody,
Right.
and just to elaborate on it, it's just like, it's someone that, and it's more of that transfer of energy, right? It's just like, for me to be able to elaborate and like pull the best out of you, I have to give you a piece of transparency or a part of myself. So allow you to be comfortable, or like, in order for you to get comfortable, it's just like not just getting comfortable in front of the camera, but getting comfortable in front of someone that has this device that could either make or break the image that you want to have. So it's
Yeah.
just like, well, let's talk or have a conversation about how you feel and what do you not like about yourself, and this and the third. And before we like dwell on that too much, it's just like, well, what do you like about yourself? Okay, your cheekbone, or your shoulders. So it's just like, okay, give me shoulders, move your chest this way. So all I'm doing is just accenting and accentuating what it is that you already love about yourself. And then over the course of time, once you see the final product, it's one of those things where it's just like, oh, I didn't know that I look like that. But it's an energy that you've been moving in over the course of this interaction. All I'm doing is just pulling it out of you, and people don't recognize or see that on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So many negative thoughts go through our mind on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
I believe that just having those conversations, and like I said before, being a great listener allows you to go ahead and pull those dynamic traits out of people and just have it show up well on camera.
Yeah, I mean I think you're right. I think most of the time we're walking around telling ourselves what's wrong because we think that the work is in changing what's wrong to right. But the real work is in changing what we think is wrong into reality, the reality that we want to see in the mirror, the reality we want people to share with people, right? And so, this imagery thing is so intertwined with confidence, with vision, with possibility, and with acceptance. So let's jump, maybe tell us a little bit about a time where you may have had a client or someone that it was hard for them to accept their own image of you from your perspective.
Got you. Oh, a time. Let me see. Before I get into that story, I'll tell you what they told me is that I have no vision for this shoot, so you're going to have to help me. And I said, well, what made you want to do the shoot? And it was just something I seen on TV or Instagram, and I just wanted to go ahead and recreate or like duplicate that. I said, well, instead of duplicating that, like, how about we create something of your very own? I mean, we can take some of the same concepts, but like, how do we make this your own? But we got down to the nitty gritty of that person. A person that doesn't have a vision will succumb to what they're repeatedly shown.
I'm so sorry. Did everybody catch that? Like, no wind is favorable to a sailor who doesn't have a destination. Okay, next.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things, being a good listener again, like a lot of us already have the answer within us, but we don't take the time to really listen to what's going on. Feelings aren't always facts, but there is a stable feel of like, oh, I know I feel this way and this and that. And you really already have the answers, and it's just about listening. And a lot of things go on up here. So
Mm-hmm.
actually saying these things out loud, there becomes a tone, there becomes real life power and transparency and vulnerability that comes out of your mouth when you speak these things. So
Yeah.
we did affirmations. So this client before, I mean, and it was only an hour shoot, but I would say about the first 15 to 20 minutes, all we did was to have a conversation. And after that, we did affirmation. And I promise you, after that, like the whole shoot was completely different because we tried to do a couple poses and different things like that. But it all came from the self-reflection of the way that they saw themselves. They wanted to be this person on Instagram so badly that they didn't like the pictures or the images that was coming out of them. But
Mm-hmm.
until we did the inner work, which is, oh, I am beautiful. I love this about myself. Those affirmations, I am. After we did that, it was a completely different person. So it left that photo shoot a different person. They left with some good visuals. That was cool, but it was
Yeah.
almost like a therapy session that now there's a trait that she utilizes on a daily basis, which was like absolutely amazing. So it's like, wow, this has gone from like media to manifestation. And it was like, that blew my mind. And that's what's like, oh God, this is a gift. This like I have to figure out a way to continue to do that for people. Because we
Yeah.
can go ahead and give you like digital photos and everything like, but
Right.
that's lifelong and I'll never do that. I'll never
Right,
forget
because
that.
even when you give them the amazing pictures, if they don't believe that that's really them on the inside, they'll start making all
That's,
the excuses. Oh yeah, here's a picture of me when I was really cute, but that's not. I don't look like that every day, or da da da. Right, the
right.
excuses that come with the disconnect in the image.
Mm-hmm.
No, no,
Mm-hmm.
that's good. That's good, Kev. You know, we are bombarded with so many images, right,
Yeah.
these days in terms of perfection, in terms of celebrity, and I've been really, really saturating myself in the Viola Davis memoir, The Finding Me.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
she's so specific about clarity of image and about fame,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think I shared this with you the other day. She
Yeah.
says healing success pales in comparison to healing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, like, you can have all the fame in the world, but if you're not healed, it doesn't matter. And then she was just breaking down the statistics today about what percent of actors become famous and that it is leery to follow someone who says that they want to be an actor or actress, but only want to take lead roles. Because what they're saying is, I don't respect the craft, I want the achievement. Right. And
Mm.
so when I see clients, when I hear clients say things to me like that, they want to know, Crystal, if I work with you, what am I going to get?
Mm.
And when I say you're going to get you, some people don't want them.
Like it's not enough. Like it's not enough. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It baffles me. And it goes back to that vision piece because when I think about it, it's like if you don't have a vision for self or a vision for success, like deception often becomes that frequency.
Yeah.
And it's mind blowing with how social media is so big now that deception and deceit. I don't even like to edit my photos to the point where you look plastic or fake. I just
Yeah.
like to accentuate certain features. If it's
Yeah.
a little bit of brightness of the skin or whatever the case may be, but
Yeah.
nothing where I'm painting
Right.
a new face on you.
Right.
So I deception and just this filtered world that we're in on social media is one thing that's really scary to me. And I'm continuing to figure out a way for people to be the most authentic self and how to go ahead and help them to live in that and be in that on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think we're learning it with each level of our senses, right?
That's
So
true.
if we want to unfilter our eyes, but we're really being clear that, what we got to do, we got to keep our words in check,
That's good.
right?
That's
The
good.
internal and the external. So we might need
Mm-hmm.
to see what's real in order to say what we really would love,
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we're not seeing what's real. So we're saying what we think we should be rather than what's intrinsically our real desire,
That's good. That's
right?
good.
So but unfiltered is scary, Kev.
It is. It is. And it's scary. And a lot of people don't want to be broken, like,
Mm,
because and I say that because a lot of people, like, you shouldn't break something until you're ready to go ahead and build it back up. But a lot of people aren't ready to go ahead and do the work of building because they've been broken for so long. So that
yeah,
routine that they're moving in becomes the new filter. It becomes the new face that we're
right.
facade that we're
Yeah,
putting on. So it's like nobody wants to go ahead and not even, I wouldn't even say rebuild their own image, but it's just like nobody wants to naturally be them. Nobody wants to just be free and be me.
yeah, yeah. Because freedom is hard. I mean, we've talked about
It
this
is.
before, right?
It is.
Freedom
Yeah.
is hard. And so when someone comes into a studio with you and you're
Mhm.
like, show me who you are, it's free space, don't worry, there's no judgment. They're like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
right? I
Yep.
was talking to some people the other day and I was like, focus and stuck are cousins.
That's good.
Because
That's
when
good.
you want to focus on something, right, you have to narrow in. When you're
Yeah.
stuck, you are closed in. When you focus on something, you are perpetuating the next step to your own transformation and evolution. But when you are stuck, you are comfortable with with the pain, so you feel a sense of unpleasure when you try to move.
I hope y'all didn't miss that one because
Oh,
I
you're
kept
right.
my I kept my notebook and pen close. I knew what was going on tonight. I knew it. I knew
But
it.
it's true, Kev.
It is. It
People
is.
love to think that they're focused, but they're stuck.
Yeah. It's good.
Right?
It's
How many
good.
people have been focused on building a business for the last 18 years? How many people have
Mm,
been focused on getting ready to be in a relationship for the last 5 years? How many people have
that's
been focused on getting a house, but they got everything but?
that's true. That's true.
Now,
And I even see that in that education piece. How many people are focused on being educated but are allergic to the execution? You know what I
mm,
mean? So it's just one of those things. So
yeah,
I completely understand that. It's just like execution is so key. Execution, doing, being, but it's the repetition that comes with it as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
So it's big. It's big. It's like how often do we rep out just being ourselves on a day-to-day basis or being
yeah.
natural? What is natural for us at this point in time? How, do we ask ourselves that?
Right.
What does natural look like?
I mean, y'all, okay, we talk about this all the time with clients, right? Natural and normal are very different,
Mm,
right? You could be normalized to wake up like this every day on this phone, right? This is normal now. No,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
not your
yeah.
natural. That's not your natural. It hasn't always been there, so it couldn't have been your natural,
That's
right?
good.
It's a tool that soothes or that you think connects you to something or someone else, but it's actually disconnecting you from who you are.
Mm, that's good. That's good.
I mean, y'all, Kevin takes amazing photos, does amazing media design, right? I've been able to be a recipient of his image of me, right?
Mm,
Which also changes what I see as possible, right? And I think
mm,
I just want to say that out loud because when you don't have partners in your vision who see you at the level or a larger level, then you will continue to tell them how to see you, and
ooh,
it's probably going to get smaller and smaller, right? So when Kevin and I work together, I'm like, that's on you, bro. Do you even like this outfit? Should I even wear this? Like, what color
mm.
do you think is right? I'm throwing out things like you tell me, right? Because I can't see myself from the outside.
Yeah, it's that top down perspective. So sometimes we're so narrowed in and tunnel visioned in on, this is what I got, and then being able to surrender control,
Yeah,
and then it's like, hey, you got it. Like I trust you, and it's not even about being confident, but it's about being confident in, like I said, the teammates, the
yeah,
partners, the people that you have around you, your circle.
right.
So I appreciate that. I thank you for that as well.
It's
But
real.
it's just big. It's big. It's so
It's
big to
big.
have vision, a family of visionaries around
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
See you larger than you see yourself at times.
Exactly, exactly. You got to have that. Right. And if you guys are just tuning into the Steps and Stages community, you know that that's why we bring all of our clients in cohorts, because we believe in clarity, confidence inside of community. Nobody changes alone. No one grows alone because you can't source infinite intelligence with just you and yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
it's good.
So,
It's good.
Kim, I just want to say, I want to get into a little bit of the background here because this is a skill. This is a craft. This is not something that you woke up yesterday and was like, "Oh, I'm taking pictures tomorrow."
Right. Right.
right? This is you. This is a part of your gifting. How did
Mm-hmm.
you? I know that you were just talking a little bit about the evolution of the gift translating into inspiring others and then teaching. But how did give us like a timeline of when Kevin from first of all he said camcorder earlier, y'all, and some of y'all don't even know what a camcorder is. Okay, so
I
to
missed
go
it.
go
I missed
go from camcorder to like traveling and shooting some of the biggest clients, right? Go for it.
it. Okay. So it I know this sounds typical, but it started with a vision. I picked this camera because I love to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I prayed and I asked God. I said, whatever I do with this camera, whatever I do with this, and I was talking about my gift at the time. Whatever I
Yeah.
do with this camera, whatever I do with it, with this skill set, and I was calling it everything but a gift. So
Yeah.
y'all catch
Uh-huh.
on.
Uh-huh.
Whatever I do with this, like allow me to be able to see the world through my lens. And it was so big for me at the time because I didn't have or a thought process. I didn't have the steps in order to get there. I just knew
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to travel. I wanted to work with different people. I almost seen all 50 states, and it's
Yeah.
because I had a vision, not necessarily knowing the steps, but I didn't let anything get in the way of allowing me to get there.
Yeah.
So even when I talk about the process and getting there, I stopped living like from my memory of being broke, and I started living from my imagination. So
Mm.
I started to see what was possible for myself, even though I haven't been there before. So
Yeah.
it was one of those things where it's like I had to go there before I got there.
Yeah.
And that was so huge for me. And that's where it comes from, living from that imagination state, that childlike state. And I mean, the steps will start to reveal themselves if it's truly what it is that you want. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to go ahead and just make travel the big thing. And that's where I started to have clients fly me out this time. Oh, we're heading to Miami, we're going to Denver, we're going to Oregon. I would have never thought to go to some of these different places, but the things that I've been able to experience was just a result of me speaking that I want to travel and I want to see the world through my lens. And having this gift of camera was just an asset to that'll allow me to go ahead and do that. So I
Yeah.
spoke travel. Travel happened as a result of the clients, the relationships that I talked about before.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
here we are. I think I only have maybe like 5 to 7 states left. And I've been doing this for quite some time, and I'm just grateful. I'm
Yeah.
extremely grateful
I
because
mean, you talk about states, but I mean, I've been in other countries with you, Kevin Buford.
this is true. This is true. This is
You know what I'm
true.
saying? Yo, I think what I want to just distill for people, right, is that one, sometimes we think the thing we have is not a gifting because other people can do it. But it's not the thing that other people can do, it's the way that you are doing it. It is your unique understanding of the gift, right? Vision is a pathway to possibility. It is not a mandate on your life, right? Because visions do not conduct themselves through how. How do I figure this out? How do I do it? Visions conduct themselves with what? What would I love? You just heard Kevin say what he wanted to do was travel. What he wanted to do was see the world. Now, seeing the world through his lens included a 360 perspective of him also including other people in that vision because the vision is never just about you. Never. It's never just about you. It always has to have good in it for others. And so not only has Kevin almost reached his small goal of like 50 states, next thing it'll be like every country, every continent, right?
There we
Give him,
go. There we
give
go.
him
The
3 months.
world. The
Give him three
world.
months, right? So, Kevin, we ask a question every season on Steps and on Wisdom Wednesday. And last season, we asked about the place that you most had to surrender. We were pulling this from a quote that said, "You are only as strong as your readiness to surrender." Right.
Mm.
And so this season, we're bringing in a Don DeLillo quote, and we're asking people based on this quote. He says that the family is the cradle of the world's misinformation. And
Okay.
so I just want to ask you, like your gift was inspired by a gift from your mother, but what part of your upbringing may have been misinformative to the vision you're living?
Wow. That's good. One more time. The last
Yeah.
portion of that. That was
Yeah.
really good.
So the way that the family's misinformation happens is basically that nobody's ever lived the vision you're trying to live, so they're giving you advice on something they never done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what's one of those key points that sticks with you of like, well, that wasn't true?
Mm. It, wa- it's so good. That's so good. Thank you. These questions. My mother always told me this quote when I was younger. I'll take it, for the rest of my life. And now that I'm saying it out loud, is I'm gonna call it the 3D effect,
Okay.
and seeing life in 3D. And she told me that my decisions determine my destination. If you
Mm.
see it and you want it, you pray for it, you believe it. Understand it's not about the destination, but it's the journey. My mother has never, she's always wanted to travel, and my mother never got a chance to travel, but she lives travel through me.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I try to travel or go to different places, my mother is always frightened because she never got an opportunity to do it for herself.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, well, don't do that, or don't go there by yourself, or don't catch that flight. But she had already instilled in me that, well, I made the decision. This is my destination, and I'm determined to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what you've instilled in me. So it's like now that you're telling me not to catch that flight or not to book this or not to go there, it's just like you don't even know the work that you've already layered on top of the negative things that are coming out right now. So my decisions have been determined by the past processes that she laid prior as a critical brick by brick foundation. So now, like I was supposed to go to Bali for my birthday in February,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't go only because there were other people that I wanted to go with, but I didn't let my mother deter me from going. So the money was there, everything was good. It was just I wanted to enjoy the people.
Yeah.
But my mother does that just about every time I head out of the country. It's just like, oh well, don't go there by yourself, or don't do that, or something crazy is going over there, and it's
Uh-huh.
about that media, right? Something is always going on. So
Yeah.
one thing that my mother always told me was that 3D effect. Decisions determine your destination, but she always kind of like pulls back from that and doesn't quite see it for herself because she hasn't experienced it.
Yeah.
But she lives it through me, and she's a little fearful, but she's so proud and so grateful that she's getting to live life through my lens.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I was in a masterclass yesterday with an amazing artist named Ishmael Houston Jones, and he was guiding students through a storytelling exercise where they needed to walk backwards with their eyes closed and bring someone into a room that was in their imagination. Right.
Mm,
And so, as you tell me that story, what I hear and what I saw yesterday are coming together because what I saw were people guiding people with their eyes closed in a very careful way. And some were so worried about their partner's safety that they couldn't listen. Right.
ooh, that's
And
good.
I thought in that moment, oh, this is such an amazing metaphor for parenting that I want to keep you so safe that I can't listen to your story right now. Right. I'll listen to you later after I know you're alive,
That's
after I know
good.
you're fed, after I
Mm,
know you're growing up, after I know you did your homework. It's always a delay in the listening, which brings us back to the beginning of our conversation, Kevin, where you said the thing that you've learned that brings the reality and the transparency out of your clients is listening.
yeah.
Right. And so I feel like we find these connections in our upbringing, in the seeding of our personalities and in the seeding of our values. So what seed are you planting now as you get ready to expand further into the vision?
It's good. It's the seed is really relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like I said before, I believe that relationships are revenue. I'll be a millionaire in relationships far before I become a millionaire in monetary value.
Mm,
So I see that because I see my business and my brand bigger than myself. I don't have employees that work for me. I have teammates that work with me.
yeah.
And that's coming from my football background. I'm all about team. I'm all about team.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that I had to become a better leader in order to lead from the front and
Yeah.
be able to push those people up from the back.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where I'm continuing to teach myself. So whatever I tune into, I notice that I turn into. So
Mm-hmm.
I try not to. I haven't been watching too much TV. So whatever entertains me, I've noticed it trains me. So
Yeah.
it's like I have to stop scrolling on social media so much and stop
Yeah.
being such a consumer and produce more. Which is
Yeah.
right now I'm on a 30-day March Madness challenge where I'm posting at least once a day. No matter
Okay.
what it is, just post it.
Love it.
Just
Love
post
it.
it. Get it out
Love it.
there. If it's
Right.
a morning breath stank, like get it out there. So
Right.
it's just one of those things. What I see for myself is just like where I'm going. I know there's going to be a multitude of impactful relationships around me, and I just
Mhm.
want to have that seed be able to grow and touch millions of people later down the
Yeah.
line.
Well, I mean, I feel like this is redundant, but I'll just say it anyway because you never know who needs to hear it or why. I appreciate you. I believe in you. I love seeing myself the way you see me. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
some of y'all, I mean, look at when you scroll through Instagram, look at the tag, right? We tag all of our photographers, Shakar Marcus, Kevin B. We tag the people who show me a different side of me. And as we're doing that, we're just getting a fuller picture of not only the vision and the brand, but we're just getting a fuller picture of capacity. And
Mm.
so I just want to publicly say, Kevin, thank you for seeing me in a way that I could not see myself and for elevating everything about not only this brand, but also the vision as we know it so far. So, last word you have for our audience. What do you got?
Last
Kev.
words. Last words. I would say I'm working on my management right now. So
Mm-hmm.
for those that are looking, listening, hearing, viewing, um, understand that you can't manage time. You can only manage yourself within that time.
Mm-hmm.
So continue to work on self, continue to work on self development, continue to work on seeing self reflection, continue to be a better version of yourself,
Yeah.
and kind of having that understanding that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So be a better steward of self. Put self first more, because as I've noticed it, the happier that I am, I notice that money gravitates to me, the relationships gravitate to me. So as you're going through this life, don't work extremely hard to make it happen. Just work on self, and those things will be attracted to you. So just continue to be you, work on self, and it'll all work in your favor.
Hey, Ashe, amen. Aye, Bobo. Listen, y'all, if you're still ready to think about working on stuff, if you haven't made that decision yet, if you're ready to stop making excuses and make a decision, make sure that you get yourself into Vision Camp Live. Kevin and I will be there, Charlotte, North Carolina, April 1st.
Sure.
Don't miss it because we will be there and we are not only ready to collaborate with you, but also to let you build a blueprint for a life you truly love living. I'm Coach Crystal. Thank you to our special guest, Kevin Buford. And don't miss the next episode of Wisdom Wednesdays. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure that your people are in the building because nobody changes alone. And if you tune in, you transform, like Kevin just told us, y'all. It's all about what you hear and then what you do. So we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching Wisdom Wednesdays. Love, peace, and vision.
Peace.